When you think back and you step back, you see what has the pandemic really done. It's it's been a hard reset for all of us, right? It's and so at the company level, what it has done is really challenged every company out there, no matter where you are in the world, at a systemic level. So by May of 2020 last year, almost every company, whether it was doing well or not doing well, had torn up its existing strategy plan. And we're still trying to rebuild the strategy plan because we're waiting for things to get normal, and we're waiting to see what new normal looks like. So as we are thinking about rebuilding, and as we are rebuilding, this is a unique opportunity for companies who are in the process of thinking about what the next few years and the next decade is going to look like, is to think and to put ESG front and center as part of that um, strategy building session. So it's not just about integrating ESG as a side aspect into your strategy, but really envisioning what kind of world do you want to live in? What kind of world do we need to build together? And then evaluating how your company, your people, and your products and services can help achieve building that world. So it's about allowing ESG to inform strategy building and building more ESG aware or sustainable strategies. And when you think of the pandemic at the societal level, it really has made us stop and think, right? Human activity paused, and we started noticing the benefits of that pause that happened. And if many of you, much like me in early days, must have received videos of animals coming out and mixing in with people on the quiet streets, of people in some countries. I come from India, and I got videos of people for the first time being able to see the Himalayas because of the smog lifting, etc. And when you think of what that did, that human activity pausing did, it brought to us in real manner the benefits of a simpler life, right? And the IEA recently published that they expect in 2020 that carbon emissions fell by 8%, or 2.6 gigatons. It took us back to levels of CO2 in the atmosphere back to 10 years ago. This is a unique opportunity that we have, where as companies, we know what it takes, as individuals, we know what it takes to really get our planet back on track and to really make meaningful change when it comes to climate issues. So the pandemic has been this crisis that has a silver lining, and whether it is at the company level or individual level or societal level, we really need to use it to build back better. If I look at it from an employee perspective, I came into Liberty and the focus was really on our employees. We were putting the people first. I was asked for the first time interview, would you like us to send you some furniture, a chair, ergonomic chair? Do you need an extra monitor? Because they needed to set me up in my home to work and be productive. It's not just about how much work you can do. There was a very conscious effort to make managers and employees recognize that it's not business as usual. We are sitting in our homes. Some of us have kids, some of us have parents that we need. We are caregivers. We have multiple roles we are playing, and making and allowing and telling managers, make space for, let employees give employees the space, be empathetic to employees about these issues. So I think and that on all these actions that were taken very early on showed up in our employee pulse or net promoter scores. We've got the highest scores this year because we put our people first. So that's one example. And what does that mean for building back better? It means recognizing that there was a benefit of putting our people first, and work didn't stop. they came to the table, and we're thinking of what does it mean to what does new normal for work look like. There's some benefits of reduced commuting. There are benefits around hiring people, not just having a home bias, but actually being more inclusive of people in different satellite offices, etc. So we want to keep that going. When it comes to customers, we responded to our customers, right? And many people were hurting. We have given back through our we announced personal auto customer relief fund, and we've given back $250 million there. And for us, as we're building back better, it really is making us think about how can we support individuals and our customers, or our institutional customers, through their transition journey. And that brings us to innovation. So in the middle of the pandemic, we invested in Jupiter Intelligence. It's a very respected and highly, it's an analytical program for climate. It gives you hyper geographic specific climate intelligence. And we're using that not only to evaluate our own climate risks, but also working with many of our clients and customers to give them insights into what climate risk looks like for them. So here are some of the examples that what we have done with regards to helping build back better and through the pandemic. When you think about ESG, many people think, oh, additional costs. And yes, there are additional costs because we don't have the muscle memory, we don't have the infrastructure, we don't have the talent sometimes, and we need to hire for all of that. But these upfront costs really do pay off, and they pay off in ways which we are not used to measuring, such as employee satisfaction, productivity, customer satisfaction, brand value. We understand that, but we don't, because we can't see the benefits directly and measure it as revenue. Our first instinct is, oh, it's a cost and we need to cut costs. But what I would urge companies as they're building back better to do is to use this, and if you're making ESG an imperative, and ESG is an imperative for our world, for our society, and for our planet, then we need to resource it as such. And that's something we've done at Liberty. So here in the US, as we were in the midst of the pandemic, we had a racial justice issue. So what we did was we were focused on diversity and inclusion. It was a 7-year journey, but we amended that journey to include equality as part of that journey. So now it's diversity, equity, and inclusion. And as we're building back better, we've also put targets around diversity, around racial, ethnic, and gender diversity to increase representation of these groups within our workforce. Now, we haven't just stopped there, but we've also hired individuals to be diversity champions embedded within businesses to help support businesses achieve that goal. And that's what I mean by resourcing ESG and being mindful so that we do make change that is, and we do build back better.